For those of you who have just joined us, you're listening to the sounds of jazz coming to you from Roy's Place, the number one fun spot here in North America. 5 minutes from downtown Santa Monica, off Pacific Coast Highway. Santa Monica, California, where a whole lot of nice people came for a vacation and then decided to live and enjoy the good life. Entertaining in the main room, the Norman Grand Jazz Pavilion, the orchestra of Bob James, featuring Grover Washington Jr. on tenor. A little later on in the evening, we are hoping to have Herb Jeffries come by with Would You Believe in Helicopter? Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the sounds of Bob James. Whenever we hear this one by Bob, we're reminded of Harry Belafonte. Jamaica, farewell. Bob James. Bob James. Let's have another hand for him, huh? Thank you, Bob. Bob James. I shan't forget the first time that I had the pleasure of meeting and talking with Bob. It was backstage at the World Jazz Association's first jazz concert. And he is a very charming person. Good friend Quincy Jones introduced us to the gentleman. And he is such a fantastic talent. So you can imagine it was a thrill to have him and the big orchestra appearing tonight in the Norman Granz Jazz Pavilion. We have a couple of very nice people who are visiting and came in and then have left. But one of them is on the Los Angeles Unified School District Board, one of their newer members, and her name is Diane Watson. We would just like to say publicly that we think Diane Watson is doing a fantastic job for all the boys and girls in the Los Angeles Unified School District, and we certainly appreciate the kindness and the very thoughtfulness that she has given to Sarah Porterfield and myself for Children's Workshop. We're very happy and very proud of our show, and we try to present it in a way that is educational and enlightening for our wonderful rainbow children. And to have a special visit from Diane Watson, well, she's been on the program a number of times, and the beautiful, kind thoughts. We would just like to let all of our listeners from Mexico to Santa Barbara and back into the Inland Empire of San Bernardino, and those of you who are listening on Theta Cable, Channel E, know that in the LA Unified School District, one of the people that we know personally is doing a fantastic job for the youngsters and parents. And her name is Diane Watson. Thanks, Diane. Thanks again. A couple of weeks ago, was last week? Yeah, or no, 2 weeks ago, we had the thrill and honor of spending a half a day from a very distinguished visitor from Johannesburg, South Africa. And in fact, we wrapped so much that we are sending him tape programs of Roy's Place, and his name is Herman Steiner, and he is the director in the Republic of South Africa. In fact, his phone number, we may just call him up collect. I bet that would blow his mind. He'd probably put a lion on the phone. Huh? You think the cat would like, wow. Anyway, this gentleman was one of the most fascinating people that we've had the pleasure of meeting and speaking with on the planet. And we would just like to dedicate the next portions of the program to him, and also to our other distinguished visitors and listeners who are tuned in tonight. And one of our favorite people happens to be on the coast, and we've got him to come up to the main room to do a couple of things for us tonight. So we're just gonna let him rap away. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome at this time one of the He's great. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice warm welcome for Brother Dave. Brother Dave Garner.
This is one about this old South Alabama boy, see, and he liked to ride them motorcycles. I mean, he just loved to ride motorcycles because it did something for him. I mean, well, he did. He traded his pickup truck in on one. Got a Jim Dandy with a Strata-Freeze air conditioner on it. On a motorcycle, can you imagine that? Weird looking. And he had an aviator cap, you know, and he had little zippers in the side so that his sideburns would hang out because he was proud of them. Had zippers up his sleeves and zippers on his back and a tattoo on his arm saying, "Mammy, you the most." He's got a girlfriend and her name is Baby. And she looks just exactly like Chuck, only its difference is she ain't got no sideburns. He's got her stashed in the sidecar. See, he won't let her sit on the buddy seat no more because he thinks it's not enough class. You know, Elvis has got 2 or 3 motorcycles and sidecars, and so he's got to keep up with the Elvises. See, that's on his mind. He's even got a stereo on his motorcycle. Man, where he can hear Elvis sing this new Wild Strange song. Don't never, don't never, don't never, don't never, sometime won't you do it? That's a brand new one. That ain't released yet. Well, anyhow, they sitting there, you see, and he's got this cigarette over here in this side of his mouth, toothpick out the other side, and he's watching this waitress walk away, toting this tray. Something other looked like Glory. Like little animals when she walks. He's hung up on her. Of course, she's married and got 3 kids and her husband's overseas. She's getting her allotment check and she's sneaking that money at the drive-in. So anyhow, Chuck says, "Baby." She say, "Huh?" He say, "Let's blow this joint." She say, "No, man, pass it on to the waitress." He said, "I mean, let's get out of here." She said, "All right, man, let's go." So it started out, you know, rah, rah. She said, "Turn the ignition on, you smart aleck." Turns the ignition on, click, you know. Rah, rah, rah. Going out down the highway 85, 90, 110, 115 miles an hour. He's winging in and out of that traffic. Them sideburns blowing in the breeze. She's sitting scrooched down in the buddy seat, which is inside the sidecar. Yeah, she liked to feel like she was riding on something anyway, whether she was or not. And so she was sitting there looking around, and she reached over and hollered at him. She said, "Hey, Charles." He can't hear, you know, and the aviator cap's down over his ears, you know, and it's muffling out the sound. Say, "Hey, Charles." He still don't hear. She reaches over and hits him a little love tap. Whap! And his head goes forward and his teeth just all crumble out on them headlights. He raises up this ear flap and says, "What's the matter, baby?" She says, "Stop the machine." They're doing 115 miles an hour. He say, "Dear hearts, it don't even raise up." He say, "What's bugging you, baby?" A tooth hanging on a little string. He flips it off out into the ether. She said, "Charles, I'm cold, you know that? So I'm not sitting on the buddy seat no more, hanging on to your latissimals." Said, "I'm freezing." He said, "We'll fix that up." She said, "You know, Chuck, you smart." He said, "Uh-huh." So I don't know what's in every book and every library in the world. She said, "What's that, baby?" He said, "Words." She said, "You is wise, Chuck, man. You too wise." "Hey, look, say, what you gonna do?" He said, "We'll take off your leather jacket, baby, and turn it around and zip it up the back. Zip, pop, and put the collar up over your face. You'll be warm." She said, my, you something." So he does that. Now she's got her jacket on backwards, sitting in the sidecar. He tries to start the motor up again. Rah, rah. "Turn the ignition on." I mean, he's dense, you know what I mean. I mean, he's got them big boots on, you know, with the half moon-shaped taps, saunter along in front of the pool hall on Saturday night and make the sparks fly. So little kids look at him and marvel. Turns the ignition on. 85, 90, 110, 115 miles an hour. Here's a whole bunch of traffic going up this mounting. Yeah, that's Yankee pronunciation for mountain. He's weaving in and out of all this traffic, and he sees a great big semi-tractor double-clutching E-flat trailer truck. And he gets right up behind it, and there's a little sign on the back of it saying, "I might be slow, but I'm ahead of you." Oh, that tore him up. I mean, he just grabbed that handlebar grip and twisted it plumb off. And that motor went up the side of the mountain. Blam, teeth, hair, and eyes all over the concrete. Wheels spinning. Here come the police. Fuzz, you know. Stop, you know. Big fishing pole on the back go shoot, 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 shoot. They come up there crouched over the steering wheel like this, you know, and open the door and get out and walk around real slow like this. So what's going on here? What's the matter here? What's happened to these lovely children? Little old boy standing there say, "Well, Mr. Officer, say, Mr. Blap, don't hit me no more. So, yes, I'll tell you what happened." What happened to these children? Yes, well, say, Mr. Charles there, say, he was killed outright, say, but Miss Baby was all right, and me and Junior turned her head around. Broke her cotton picking neck. Yes, I do.
Well, do you ever sing?
I sing sometimes.
You mean you sometimes sing?
Oh.
Lonely as a desert breeze,
I may wander where I please.
yet I keep on longing just to rest a while.
Where a two-horse can drive.
Take the place of sand and sky. Now together. Forgive me, I do them things because I love you. I'd still rather hear, "There's a yellow rose in Texas, I'm going there to see." It's about a flower. Yes. Did you know that Texas is the only state in the union that can quit anytime you want to? That's right, cut off America. Say, forget you. They ain't gonna give you nothing. They're all talking about what's wrong with the country. There ain't nothing wrong with the country except in the city. I mean northern cities. Man, Texas is good. I'm telling you that. I've always felt that about this state because it was founded by Tennesseans. Yes, old Sam Houston, though, he was born in Virginia, you know. That's right, he was born in Virginia, bless his heart. He was, hallelujah. Woo. And old Sam was about half out of it all the time. Yeah, and the license plate in Tennessee, see, is in the same shape as the state. Only state in the union's in the shape of a license plate. Now, if Texans did that, don't you see, the point would tear the highways up. Oh, Lord, it'd be a mess. There's a couple of things, though, that I would like to put on you because it's weird, and mainly because we're here. And reflecting in the light of the joy of glee, I sometimes dwell on thoughts of Tennessee. I remember we were so poor, we lived out in the country, we didn't even have nothing to eat. So we didn't eat anything. God will take care of you. That's right, I mean, we finally sent off to Lancaster, Pennsylvania and got some tomato plant seeds. That's right. And we sold Rosebud and Clover and Sam. Did you ever do that? Me and my old brother's about half smart, though. See, we was kind of sneaky and thievy. That's why I thought I'd always probably make a good politician. But the only thing is I'd tell folks first. Then if I was honest, they'd be disappointed. But anyhow, I mean, we didn't eat anything, and so we got these tomato seeds, and we planted them, you know, and we sold these Rosebud and Cloverine salve, and instead of getting a little old gift, you know, like with green stamps, me and my old brother kept the money, man. Yeah, we still getting letters to that address, but a highway's running through that house now. It cost them too much money to send an agent down there to get you for 2 boxes of rosebud and cloverine salad. And if I ever fail in what I'm doing, I'm gonna get myself a Watkins route. Oh, wouldn't that be tough, man? Have yourself a Watkins route and drive up, in front of the Statler and just get out. Sell to everybody, all kind of liniments and things. I was thinking, if we took all the pills that's in a drugstore, it'd kill us. I mean, think about that. I mean, coming through poverty is a great stroke, man. I mean, you just come through it just like cutting a board with karate. Now, see? But the idea in karate is not to chop the board in two. Now, if you find any of your children going around knowing that Elvis does that, and's got his black belt and everything, don't let your children go out and chop up kindling, with their hands, because, can you imagine Van Cliburn getting on that kick? He's a good old Texas boy, bless his heart. He got over there to Russia. He was about half sneaky, And he went and laid $8,000 on the First Baptist Church in Russia. And I thought that was real good, because, I love Baptists anyway. I put up with them. I understand them. And he put $8,000 on that church, and I think that's marvelous since can't nobody go. But anyhow, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm just old white trash, just old trash. I'm not ashamed of it because I don't have to put on any front. You see, if I ever do anything, I will have progressed. Anything at all, I mean, I just love the celestial and happy sounds and good things, and if you're always hung up in good things, how you gonna find something bad? Folks will come knocking at the door and say, something bad happened out there today. Say, what happened? Well, it was pretty bad. Say, well, go tell it to some cats who want to hear something bad. So I'm sick of hearing things bad. Even sick of hearing things good. Gonna go beyond both of them. But anyhow, I get my kick. See, I love to study all kinds of religions because they're all good, except the bad ones. And the bad ones are really good, the bad folks. Yes, and then if you can realize that, you see, that bad folks are really not bad in their environment, because in their environment is different from your environment, well, then you can understand and you can say, well, hell, that wasn't so bad after all. Joy to the world. I mean, there was one cat that they kicked out of karate because he fought bulls, man, and took his hand and said, blap, hit them horns. See the way that he could knock the horn off the steer. Bull? Oh, yeah, steers wouldn't fight, would they? They'd probably be out preaching, man. Ain't got nothing else to do, so that's why they take it out, Oh, I'm putting you on, because, I mean, well, there's only one thing I got to say about preachers, because I always have to put one in one album, at least, and this is a pretty one. Preachers always in them in theological seminaries and things, they always get the prettiest girl. Got that paternity pin way out there. Folks sit around, with little bleary eyes and lust after. If the ministerial student wasn't engaged to her, they wouldn't pay no attention to her. No, they just figure since that he's in tune with whatever it is, it must be better than some of the others. I don't know about that, I mean, there you go. Tell that to somebody that don't care. I don't know what I'm doing half the time, but it's a wild thought. I figured if I ever did figure out what I was doing, I'd probably go hide. Well, then there's intellectual, too. There's a lot of folks that's hung up on that intellectual kick, because they don't know, that the intellect is only a tool of the ego. And we're supposed to suppress that, lest we become vain and ignorant and arrogant Can you imagine the vanity and the ignorance of the white man to think that the Indians had a great white father? Sure he was an Indian. Sitting down there beating on his drum. They're the only true Americans. The Indians, bless their hearts, hallelujah. Our American Indians. Oh, don't it give you strength to know what Sitting Bull did to Custer? He was a smart aleck. Man, Sitting Bull said, "Get him, Junior and Willie." Whap, man, that was all. Sent his saddle home. Well, they gave him a haircut. Friends, Indians still can't vote. They ain't got no candidate running. This old boy was up there in Chicago, and so he had left down home, you know, and he got up there, and he got into some kind of a business known as the numbers, see? And they say that that's illegal, but I believe we ought to make everything legal, then we wouldn't have no crime. That's what you call a profound statement, you see. And this old boy was making all this money, but he couldn't write to his friend down home and tell him what he was doing, you know, because they're inspecting the mail now, you know. I mean, they're investigating everything. But wait a minute. He looked around there in his serene stroke, and he wrote this letter to his friend down home, and he said, "Hey, man." He said, "Man, there's so much money in Chicago, it's falling off the trees." His friend wrote him a postcard back and said, "Send me some." He sent him $200 or $300, and he went out and got his head all tore up, you know, got himself some moon pies and RCs, you know, and everything, just flipped, man, spent all his money, created inflation there in a certain section. He jumped on the bus and get on up to Chicago, you know, and he's thinking about the money falling off the trees. And he's walking along there, stone broke, ain't got a dime. Ain't got a dime. And he's walking along there, and all of a sudden, he passes underneath this tree, and he see himself a $50 bill. He look at it just as serious, and he say, so I'll pick you up tomorrow. I ain't gonna work on my first day in Chicago. Now, this is a weird scene, and this is about this preacher, and he's driving along there, see, in his car. And he was driving along, one of those chubby face, you know, with the glasses, happy. And, you know, and when he really gets into his message, he says, that's to alert the knobbers. But a very cheerful soul. And he was driving along there, and he seen this pickup truck in front of him. And it was weaving, you know, over the line. And he, not being hasty to prejudge any dear soul, said, "That feller up there must be ill." Then he says to himself, "I better hit that passenger gear and get out around this drunk before he runs me off the road." So he steps on his passenger gear, and goes out there and hits a little old slick spot. And his car, the preacher's car, just flip over thrice. An old inebriated soul gets up there. Actually, the soul is never inebriated, just the vehicle that houses it. So this stoned housing walked from his pickup truck. You can't hurt him, there ain't no way, you know. Lord protects him. Sometimes that gives some folks reason to think that it's godly to drink. So anyhow, he opens up the door and he looks down there and he says, "You all right, preacher?" "Yes, thank you, the Lord's riding with me." "Well, you better let him ride with me before you kill him." Thank you and God bless you.
Brother Dave. Brother Dave. Take another bow, would you? Come back again, would you? Brother Dave Garner. Oh, he's too much. Ladies and gentlemen, on our revolving bandstand coming into view at this time, Ples Johnson on tenor sax. On bass, The Reason, Raymond Brown. Herb Ellis on guitar. The young lady on congas, Bobby Hall. Jake Hanna on piano. No, on drums, Mike Melvin on keyboard. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ples Johnson at this time as we continue with the sounds of jazz here in Roy's Place. Ples Johnson. Ples? This song has so many happy memories for us. It's called Georgia on Our Mind. And when we hear it, we think about happy days at Atlanta U, Morris Brown, Morehouse, and Clark when we were attending school in Atlanta. Ples Johnson on tenor. Ples? From the main room here in Royce Place, you're listening to the sounds of jazz, coming to you through the facilities of Channel E, Theta Cable, and the Bay outlet for National Public Radio. 187 stations. Your dial should be set at 89.9, and this is KCRW, FM, Santa Monica. On tenor, Ples Johnson. Ples? Les Johnson. On bass, The Reason. Raymond Brown. Herb Ellis on guitar. The young lady on congas, Bobby Hall. Jake Hanna on drums and Mike Melvin on keyboard. You know, it's a lot of fun to sit and rap with people. And there are people and then there are people. But one of the better people that we know happens to be Gary Vicelli. And we have been laughing and having a ball. And we don't even have a soda pop between us. And since I don't smoke anything, we don't even have none of that between us. Or any of the other stuff. Earlier, we were talking with Mr. Flamingo, our good friend Herb Jeffrey, who is involved in this big affair. Salute to Louis Armstrong with Ruth Brown and Gerald Wilson. They'll all be at the Palladium on the 24th. And those of you who have not gotten your tickets, by all means, make arrangement to pick those things up. It's going to be a fantastic affair. I know he's coming by the club a little later on. Good friend Willie Bobo. We call Willie Mr. Glazed Donut. That's a little inside thing. Mr. Glazed Donut. And he's going to be there. Also Red Fox, Gary Crosby, Roberta Lynn. They keep adding more and more stars. This is for the Louis Armstrong Memorial Statue Fund. I didn't say Memorial, Statue Fund. It's going to be in the park in New Orleans on his birthday. They're going to erect this 10-foot bronze statue of Louis Armstrong in the park in New Orleans. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And that's one of the reasons that the affair is being given. In fact, to get the necessary loot together for the final big push to erect this statue. I know that lots of you would like to remember this man, and whenever you think of Louis Armstrong, you can think about the wonderful enjoyment that he caused for all of us here on the planet. Goodwill ambassador. Whenever you think of Dolly, you automatically think of Louis Armstrong and that voice of his. We thought we would try something tonight that we hadn't done before. We've done everything that we can arrange, and we'll see how it comes out. Anyway, Herbie's going to fly over in a helicopter, and we'll be playing the music. The band will be playing in the main room here in Roy's Place, and we're going to, the skyline here opens up here in Roy's Place, and we'll be able to see the helicopter. And we're going to see how it comes out. So if you'll stand by till we get things arranged, we'll see how it comes out. Leave it to Herb. Huh? Isn't that fantastic? Herb Jeffries. Beautiful. Let's go downstairs now to the Ellington Lounge. It's too much. Herb Jeffries. Thanks, Herb. You know, we've known Lucky for quite some time, but then I guess, like Gary says, we've known everybody for quite some time. But he happens to be a good friend of ours, and we just love him. We love his soprano sax and his stylings and whatnot. And at one time, he was with Woody Herman. In fact, he was one of the first brothers, quote unquote, to be in Woody Herman's band. And talking with Stan Getz, when was it? About a couple of weeks ago, when the very charming one, Stan Getz, was playing Howard Rumsey's Concerts by the Sea, that we asked him about the title Four Brothers. Did they look alike, or did they dress alike, or just why were they called Four Brothers? And he said originally at that time they were called Four Mothers, and they couldn't use it or couldn't sell it, but now that things have changed, they've gone back to using the title, which they played saxophones and they blew up a storm, or in the vernacular of the street, they blew up, yeah, like that. So that's why they call them the Four Mothers. And Lucky Thompson took the place of Stan Getz, and I recall when we were doing a show for KTYM out in Inglewood, Jazz for the Housewives, we asked the name of the Four Brothers, and the gentleman who did not win the prize said at no time did Woody Herman ever have four brothers in his band, and he was talking about the other brothers, but that's another story. One of the happy thoughts that Lucky has on the back of a little booklet that he puts out, I thought you might like to hear. There were numerous occasions when yesterday came too soon, but then was willing to step aside graceful, out of complete understanding and respect for the necessities of today and possible tomorrows. Lucky Thompson entertaining in the Downbeat Lounge with his quartet. Awful glad to have Lucky. Such an outstanding musician. And happy to have him back on the coast again. This gentleman has, originally we had him scheduled for the lounge, down the Ellington Lounge. But because so many people requested accommodations, we have moved him back upstairs to the main room. So if he's set up, oh, he's not quite set up there. A couple of reminders, program-wise. Don't forget the big affair on the 24th at the Palladium, the statue fund for Louis Armstrong. You can pick up your tickets at any mutual or agency or Liberty agency. But it's on the 24th, and that's all the funds will be turned over for the statue fund for Louis Armstrong, which is being erected in Louisiana. A 10-foot bronze statue of the great American jazz artist, Louis Armstrong. The affair with Herb Jeffries, Ruth Brown, Gerald Wilson's big band, Red Fox, Roberta Lynn, and quite a few others on the 24th. So plan on attending. We'll be telling you more about the affair and also about the big affair that KCRW is having on the 3rd of July at the Miramar Hotel. I think that they've got everything arranged upstairs, so at this time, let's go upstairs and welcome Cal Jader and friends.